I'm going to unmute you, Ivory, okay? Okay, don't do anything. I'm going to unmute you, Ivory. Don't do anything. Okay, Ivory, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
How weird. It says I'm okay. Does anybody have any questions about fundraising? And if you have done fundraising and you'd like to share a story or a success that you've done, I'd love to hear some of your success stories. We can kind of go one at a time. You just unmute yourself and let me know who's speaking, and I'll try to get your video up on the screen. Chat.
So Ivory, we had Meredith Weisenbecker, one of the directors, has a team member, I believe it's Evelyn, who has had some successful fundraisers with, I believe, National Honor Society. Meredith, do you want to introduce her? You're on mute, Meredith. We got to unmute you. Here, I'll unmute you, Meredith.
Members.
Okay, you're unmuted, and I'm going to unmute Evelyn.
Okay, awesome. And yeah, I would like to hear a little bit. She said she's done 2 now, involving the school and the National Honor Society.
Could you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Evelyn. Actually, I've done 2. I was at a small 3A school, and we did it for the National Honor Society. I did give them 25% both times. We had to ask permission from our superintendent to be approved to be able to do this. There are a lot of people in those small towns who like to do sales like this, and I didn't want anyone to feel that I was benefiting other than gaining customers. So I explained how it all worked and that it is still considered a party. They do get free stuff and half off stuff. So we do have people who would still just give cash donations because they don't believe in fragrancing their homes or cars. And so we would use the cash donations towards like a half off item for the top seller. The first year we did it, we had, I want to say 11 students participate. They, their commission part was a little over $600, I believe. And all the free and half off items go back to the group, and they will either take them and do a silent auction at home football games, or they will basket them and we will do a silent auction on Facebook with them so that the money continues to roll into the group. The second time we did it, they made a little over $800 off the commission, plus all the free stuff and how we sold it in a silent auction on Facebook. And we will probably be doing it again shortly as soon as the new catalog rolls out. We do the whole catalog just because there are people in the area who do buy from me, so they know what to expect from the catalog. We offer the bundle sales. We offer all of it. And I want to say the second year we had 21 kids participate, and they sold a little over $4,000 worth of product. So they do a really good job.
I think one thing that's really important about what you were sharing, I love the success on that. Those are amazing profits that can be donated. But I think one of the keys to your success is the group that you had doing the fundraiser for you. It's the National Honor Society, which those kids are typically very driven and success oriented. So I think that a lot of those children, they're probably teenagers, but a lot of those kids will have a lot of self-initiative. And so they want to be successful. They want to raise money. I know a lot of times for me, when I've done some school fundraisers, I tried to do one last year for a project graduation. And these kids were very used to their parents raising all of the money for project graduation, and they didn't have to do anything. And so no one really tried, even though there were incentives and I was giving away a gift card. I figured with the commissions, then I talked to the coordinator and we were going to give away a gift card, an Amazon gift card, and nobody really tried. And I was very, very disappointed. And it was probably a flop because of my coordinator and I just not having the right communication on everything. And so I know now, lesson learned from my mistakes, but I know that when I'm I'm trying to coordinate these things, that I have to keep my audience in mind. If my kids are going to be self-driven, then I don't have to put as much energy into coaching the coordinator into how to get sales and how to get these kids driven. But I think if you're doing a little league fundraiser, then obviously the parents are going to have to help participate in those fundraisers. So you're going to have to remember that you're going to have to do a little bit more coaching on how to do the fundraiser with the hostess, and maybe possibly having a parent meeting. That way you can ensure that you're going to have a little bit more success.
With ours, what we did, I worked at the school, so I taught math there, and I was also their athletic trainer. So I dealt with the math classes I dealt with some of the, I guess, not such ambitious children, and so that's why I joined National Honor Society and became their sponsor, was because I wanted to deal with some of the kids who actually cared about their future and tried to do things in their community. And they were a bunch of good kids, and I never got to teaching some of my courses. I never really got to hang out with them. So that's why I joined their group. When we did do it, I made sure I had 2 sets of Scentsy samples. I'd bring them a set, let them all smell so they knew what they were offering, because we had a lot of people would ask, oh, what are the good ones? Which ones do you like? Well, what sells the most? I'd let all the kids smell them. So they would know if teachers were asking and there were certain scents that teachers wanted to smell, we'd take over those smells to them. So they did a really good job on that fundraiser, and we'll be doing it shortly, and I'm really excited about it again this year.
I think one really good way is to, if you're trying to give out samples, one really good way is to use the rub and smell stickers, and you can give the rub and smell stickers several of the, because you can buy the top 20 fragrances in one pack, and you can just take those and then put them on a sheet or your order form or however you're doing it, and that gives them a chance to smell each individual scent.
I definitely will look into that, because I'm getting ready to order all the stuff I'm going to need for the new fundraisers, because we use not the product sheet, but the showcase brochure is what we used in our fundraiser packet. So I'll be ordering everything, because I have an order going in soon to close up August, so I needed to order all my new stuff. But I'll definitely look into those stickers.
Ellen, I just want to thank you for jumping on and mentioning your fundraiser. I really appreciate that. I think a lot of times there's people hear about fundraisers if they haven't done it, and there's lots and lots of different ways that the consultants do fundraisers. And so hearing from different people which have had success, and also the ones that are not successful. So just a couple recaps that I want to cover from the fundraising. It is, you are giving away your commission, but you're getting contacts, you're giving back, and sometimes people do make money on fundraisers. Like Ivory was saying, it's a great time to do it during the incentive period, because you're going to get the PRV that's going to get you the trip points. One of the other things that I think is important is that it doesn't have to be huge. Like a lot of people do school fundraisers and all these kind of things, but you can also do small. Like we had talked about, it could be raising money for people, you know, an individual, a family, a church group. Those of us who went to the H-Town Showdown this past weekend, some of the rock stars that have done recruiting also shared with us some of the things they've been doing. And, you know, there are people that make, I think one person said that they sold $20,000 or $30,000 worth of Scentsy product through fundraising. So there are people that do a lot, and then there's people that do just a little bit. And so when you start, you don't have to go big, and you don't have to be overwhelmed with it. Start small, pick something small. One of the girls mentioned, instead of doing like an entire school or an entire PTO, it could be taking something small, one little group, like the music department or the dance team or something really small, and going from there. So you don't have to get really, really big. Another option is get one of your downline to go in with you, and you guys do it together. That way it might not be so overwhelming, and people can help each other. One of the other feedback that we got from H-Town Showdown was that one of the girls that works with the school, she uses the principal to help her figure out what the incentives are going to be for the trip. I mean, for the fundraiser. And for some of the high schools, things like getting a ticket to prom or a free dress day or things like that, getting the school engaged. Sometimes it can be no cost. So definitely something to consider. Ivory, do you want to share? I know you think you're eating. Do you want to share any of the things that you're doing or that you've done in the past?
I did one fundraiser that I did, and Jamie was talking about how fundraisers can all be different. You can do a small fundraiser where you have limited items. You can do a single item fundraiser. You can do a whole catalog fundraiser. I've done all of the above. I've done a Scent Circle fundraiser. I've done a single item fundraiser. I've done a whole catalog fundraiser. I did a fundraiser when you can design your own warmer. And we had designed a thin blue line warmer. And this was when all of the police stuff was going on and the Blue Lives Matter. And I have a lot of friends who are police officers, and I have a lot of outreach in the community with the police officers here. And so between my family members who are police officers and my friends' family members who are police officers, I went ahead and borrowed a design, actually had permission from somebody who had created a thin blue line warmer. And we had just that one warmer, and that was it. It came with a warmer and one bar of wax, because that's how the program worked when you designed your own warmer. And I blasted it all over Facebook, and I had my friends share it, and we ended up selling, I think, because you had to purchase them in bundles of 12, I believe. I think we ended up selling like 48 warmers. Excuse me. And what I did with what I did with my commissions for that is I turned around and I donated it to our Blue Santa program here in town, which is when the officers turn around and they buy Christmas gifts for children who are in need. And the police officers deliver them to these families around Christmas. So we were able to donate, I can't even remember how much we donated. It was a couple $100s. So it was really nice to be able to, even though it was a smaller fundraiser and it was only a single item fundraiser, it was all done word of mouth through Facebook. And all I had to do was have people message me on Facebook, and I took down their information, and I ordered the number of warmers, and then I invoiced everybody with my Square app. So that's how I did that fundraiser. I've also done Scent Circle fundraisers for a baseball team. And we can post and we can add we can add files to the group page, right? Okay, we can add files, and we can make sure that we get you I have a Scent Circle fundraiser sheet, and it basically, I think there's 10 or 15 different scents, and you can change out the scents for each season. It's editable, so you can change it out, and you offer each 6-pack of Scent Circles. I believe we did it for $15 because normally, or $18 because they're normally $3 a piece. And so you charge them full price for every single Scent Circle they're getting. So they get a 3-pack or a 6-pack of Scent Circles for $18. So that extra $3 that you're going to save with your combine and save, because it's really only going to cost you $15. That's $3 that's going back to the organization, automatic donation right there. And then you also have your commissions that are being donated on top of that. So you take the order form and you send the kids out and say, go around, and it's kind of like a Girl Scout sheet. It has the different scents at the top, and then they put their name on the side, and they decide and they check which scents they want. They get 6 scents, and then they tally up how much it's going to cost them. They get to pick out 6. If they want to do 2 6-packs, then they pick out 12, and then the kids collect all the money. They bring it back to you. You take it when your Scent Circles come in, you sort everything out, and you give the kids. What we did was, because I had a friend help me that was on my downline, we took curling ribbon, because that's what we had, and we tied the 6 Scent Circles together that they had, and then we put them in a plastic bag, and we said, this is for, and we put a little white mailing label on it, and we said, this is for such and such child, and we rubber banded all of their orders together. put it in a plastic bag. This is for this child. And then it had the white label on it for the person's name that 6-pack belonged to. So it was very simple. We were able to sort and organize everything and put it all together within like 2 hours. And I think they had sold a couple hundred scent circles. So they were able to donate a couple $100 back to the baseball team. Now, that wasn't maximum participation. That was really only like 3 or 4 of the kids who had gone out and sold, and there was no incentive that was given and offered for the baseball team. So I'm sure had it been done again with incentives, that those kids probably would have gone out there and they would have done something and strived. Because I know my own son, who's 8 years old, would have gone out there. He's like a selling king. Maybe that's just because he sees me selling all the time, but he goes out and he's a little salesman, and he will go and he will ask complete strangers, would you like to buy a 6-pack of scent circles? So I've done scent circles, I've done the warmers, and I've done the full catalog. The full catalog one I did was for project graduation, and that was the one that didn't go over so well. But again, there was some communication mishaps with that one. And if I ever do that again, I know what mistakes that I made last time that I need to change up this time. I've also done Facebook party fundraisers, and all I do is run it like a normal Facebook party, and whatever we get, I turn around and I give the commissions from that party over to the person that is getting the funds. So I've done them for a lady that needed some medical bills covered. And so we were able to set up a Facebook party for her. And then people even reached out to me. And I know Jamie said or not Jamie, I think Evelyn, I think, said that she took the donations and they put them back into purchasing incentives. But this was kind of more of a personal Facebook party fundraiser. So what I did when people gave me cash is I just put it in a card for the lady that we were raising the funds for. And so we were able to actually raise like $700 between my commissions and what people donated. I think it was about half and half. I think I had about $350 in commission that I was able to donate, and then also about $300 that was raised just in cash donations. And then there was one that I was just thinking about that I've done, and I completely forgot what I was going to say. I hate when that happens.
Think about it and let me know when you come.
I remember. It didn't last long. So I've also done, like Jamie was talking about, doing an event fundraiser. And so unfortunately, I had a student that was killed in a car accident a couple years ago. And when he passed, his mother was doing, I don't know if you guys know what rag ball is, but it's kind of like softball. And they were doing a rag ball tournament. And so I offered to go set up my Scentsy tent out there while they were playing rag ball. There was a couple other people out there that were selling like chips and food and nachos and things and little ornaments and stuff like that. And I set up my Scentsy booth and I sold out there, and I was able to donate, I think, like $200 towards his funeral expenses. So that was something I was able to do. And now because of that, I've gained contacts who are continuous every 2 to 3 months ordering from me because they see that I'm doing a good thing out in the community, and they are loyal to me as opposed to just any random person that they could just go buy Scentsy from. They're like, that Ivory, she's a good lady. She gives back to the community, and she knows, what she's doing with her Scentsy, and they want to come back to you because they know that you're serious about your business and that you are a generous person, and people tend to flock to that more. So you're going to be more attractive to potential customers and gaining loyal customers as well. I even got a recruit off of that too.
Well, that's what somebody had mentioned this weekend, was that usually the fundraising chair, the person you're working with, that is somebody that's a great person to recruit. And the girls that were sharing this weekend, they both had gotten multiple recruits that way. I mean, it's a simple way to get your name out there. What I've mostly heard is that people sell the product at the full price, no combine or no bundle and saves. And the other thing is that they use the host rewards to add more products so that you can give that more money back. That was the typical. Something that came out of the video that I had not seen before or heard before that I really like is making your own flyer with a set number of warmers and a set number of bars. I think that's a really good choice because warmers and wax is a great way to do it, but the showcase brochure can be overwhelming to some, especially if you have other people out there selling for you. Do not recreate the wheel. All the material that you need to get a fundraiser going has already been created. Just decide that you want to do something, decide how big it is, and then get the information from the organization, how much money they want to raise. Sometimes you need to go in and create a presentation to explain how this is all going to work. There's multiple ones out there. We can get you the information. Ivory, did you want to say something?
I was just going to say exactly what you said as you were saying it, that there's already presentations out there, letters that you can edit for your own, to make it your own wording, but there's already formats out there that you can use to send to potential fundraiser coordinators.
So I think what it is decide that you're going to at least start and do a fundraiser. And if you don't know anybody that needs to raise money, you can post on your Facebook wall. If you had an extra $1,000, what charity or organization would you donate that to? And you can ask that question, and then when people comment, or you could ask the question, what is your favorite charity or nonprofit? And let people, post links and everything. Those people that are really passionate about those, contact them. I know pet shelters, animal shelters, those places really have a lot of passion. They have adopting days, sometimes once a month. You can set up a table there if you wanted to. And even if you don't have product to sell, you could take orders and then do the combine and save too. That way you have the testers out there and you're doing the work. You just have to decide how much you're willing to work and how much you're going to give away. Personally, for me, during the incentive period, the more product I can move, the happier I am. Yes, I need the money. I need to cover the babysitting. I need to cover those things. But if it's a family kind of event, I try to do things around with kids and pets. The kids can come with me. So, I can leverage them to help me sell and help me, move stuff around and things like that. Even if they're little, I know lots of girls on the team that have had their babies in carriers and are nursing underneath the table. So when you do these kind of fundraising things and when you're giving back, it's a different perspective of what they expect of you. You can be a little bit more casual. You can have family out there. I mean, it is a family business. So I think what I want to encourage you is to get out there and decide how and who you're going to give back to. And then once you've done that, get with your sponsor or get with your director, whoever invites you to these meetings, and talk to them about getting the material you need to get going. Sometimes large organizations do require a presentation. That's done for you. Don't get overwhelmed by it. It doesn't have to be a presentation on a screen where you project. Even if it's a large group, you can do handouts for the key players. And if you've got a really, really big one, get with your sponsor because she can help you or he can help you get the thing going. I know if anybody in my downline wants to do a fundraiser, I'm definitely going to be there to help. And part of it is I want to give back. Part of it is I want to help you. But then selfishly is if your team is doing fundraisers, you are making money off that. You do get commission off that because it's off their sales. So even as a sponsor, when you don't have a lot of time, you're making money when your downline does these things. And that's another reason to really, really think about that. Another thing to mention is that the annual sales award is for anyone who sells over 30,000 PRV in the year. What I
thought it was 24,000. Did they up it? It's 30? Oh, okay.
It's 30, right, Meredith? Yeah, it's 30,000. And so
I've never hit that one.
So when people do fundraising, it's a way to kind of boost the sales. So get creative and think about how and where you want to give back. Maybe it's something close to your heart. One of the things Ivory was talking about on a previous call was that she's doing the fundraising with realtors for the charitable cause for next month. Ivory, you want to talk about that? Or you want me to do it?
I think I mentioned it a little bit last time, is that I'm using the Built with Love warmer as the base for a realtor home closing gift or a home buying gift so that realtors can purchase a little gift basket. I think if you guys know Heather, she posts the images all the time of her closing gift baskets. It's pretty much the same thing as you're putting in a warmer, maybe a bar, maybe a spray. Depends on what your product price point is. And so I am meeting with a group of realtors so that everyone in the realtor group will actually be purchasing their closing gifts from me. And I'm donating my commissions from that, as well as Scentsy's donating their portion. So it's almost total, even at 25%, almost $18 that's being donated between me and with Scentsy to Habitat for Humanity. Scentsy's going to donate theirs to the headquarters. I'll donate my portion to the local branch. So it'll be kind of a 50-50 split. So that's something that I've reached out to a couple of realtors that I know personally, but I was listening to the radio today, and you hear all the time commercials for all of these realtors. So I started jotting down names. I was like, if these realtors are serious about their business and they're putting out ads on the radio, then that means that they must be selling quite a few homes and they're taking their business seriously, and they must be doing pretty well. So I have started jotting down those names, and I'll be reaching out to those realtors as well. So I think that that may be another route for you to raise funds as well. Chili, one thing I wanted to point out, one thing that I really liked about Jamie's video, and something that I hadn't thought about before, was, and I know it may be a little bit too late for this month, but for future reference, doing fundraisers in the months of transition can yield almost 50% profit for the organization. And I know that with your extra bonus 5%, if you go over 2,000, that's 30%. And with Combine and Saves, you're actually able to use the donate a little bit more back because they're upcharging it. So I know it tends to be anywhere between 35 and 40% by the time it's all said and done, as long as you hit that 2,000 mark for the month between your fundraiser and your personal sales. So I know that that can be very profitable, but I never thought about that extra 10% whenever it's transition month. So I thought that was something that was really neat and something really good to think about. I know this month is a little too late probably to start up a fundraiser and do something for this month, but it may be good info to have for February or for next August. So
Yes, I agree. I'm trying to. Anybody have any questions? I'm trying to look up real quick something. I'm doing a math problem. So if you did 45 times 0.4 equals 45 times 0.4.
what are you doing?
I'm trying to figure out what percentage. So that's like 40% of that warmer is going.
Of the Built with Love warmer? Yes.
Yeah. So what
If
you
you're
can
donating 30% back, assuming that you're getting $2,000 that month. And so you're donating 30% back. So you're donating 30% plus, since he's donating, it's $9 this year. So $9 out of 45, I believe that's 25%, isn't it?
Well, it's not. We're not going to get 45 on it though, right? We normally get 40
for PRV
and for commission, right?
Well, yes, you'll get PRV. Yes, because that'll count towards your 30%. So you'll give 30% of the $40 that you get towards PRV.
So $40 times 0.3, 30% is 12.
$12.
Plus 9 equals $21. And you divide that by 45. That means
plus that's not including if they're adding a bar, a spray, and any other items.
So the only thing with this warmer is you can't do it as a half off. So some of the realtor packages are a little bit different. But since you're doing this as a donation, what you want to do is in the packages, the realtor would then say, you know, in honor of you or whatever, you know, we've
donated $21 to Habitat for Humanity.
Right, between Scentsy and me or whatever. The other thing that came up that I thought was really good while you're talking to realtors and you're thinking about, you know, even though the Habitat thing is not a true fundraiser, she is raising funds for an organization. She's not contacting them. She's not talking to Habitat for Humanity. She's just doing on her own. And then maybe once a month or whatever, she's going to write a check and donate that money. It'll be a marketing expense when you do your business and everything. This is not, when you do fundraising through Scentsy, it's not a donation as independent consultants. However, as a realtor, they want to be on the top of someone's mind. And so for very profitable realtors that are selling big houses or have a large client base, they're trying to be in the mind all the time. And one of the things that they said on Sunday, this last weekend, was that the consultant has a stack of each realtor's business cards. And she mails out a bar every month, every 2 months, every 3 months with the business card for that realtor, for the realtor. So the realtor doesn't have to do anything. And, gives that back also. So it's kind of a way to incorporate fundraising, incorporate marketing, getting your name out in the community, partnering with some people, and talking about how you can both give back. Because the realtor is going to want to say that they're giving back too.
One thing, am I muted? Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. One thing that I was thinking about while we were discussing this is because you said you want to put something in there that says on behalf of your closing on your home, between myself and Scentsy, we've donated, but putting maybe a little coupon or a fake check that looks like, Habitat for Humanity. That way they feel like it's something more tangible. They can see it instead of just a little memo, but it's something that they can see and be like, oh, this is a little coupon. It looks like I've been able to donate $20 back to Habitat for Humanity. And they'll feel good about that because they feel like they've done something good just by closing on their home. And then they'll remember their realtor because their realtor gives back too. So it makes the realtor look awesome. And like I was saying earlier, people will stay loyal to the clients that they feel like are genuine and sincere. And I can't think of the word philanthropic.
Philanthropic.
What? Let's say it again.
Philanthropic.
Yeah, that word.
Another thing to leverage is when you're doing social media and doing these fundraisers is doing shout outs. A lot of people create the Facebook event for the fundraiser, whatever the time is. And then when people contribute, there's shout outs on the event or on your business page or whatever, or you can go to their page or whatever. There's lots of ways to get recognition. And a lot of times that's all, people want, is that people want to be recognized and feel good about what they're doing.
I will caution you, Chili. One word of caution on that. When you're doing it, although it may seem like a good idea to say, you've helped raise $20 for Habitat for Humanity, that's a generous donation, I would say. But you may have somebody who purchases something smaller in a fundraiser and they only donate $2 back. And if you're like, congratulations, you donated $2 back because you've done it for everybody else, and you feel like you have to do it for them, and you don't want them to feel embarrassed that their contribution wasn't as big. So I would just, word of caution.
Oh, I do not disclose people's donation. And okay, so let me preface it this way. First is, I don't ever tell anybody somebody donated this amount. The other thing is, the key to a successful fundraiser is the way, Ivory's waving to you. The key to a successful fundraiser is making sure you're very clear and set expectations and everything ahead. So when I'm doing the shout outs and things like that, I'm thinking small fundraisers, something really small. It's a group that you might know, just a way to get back and recognize. If you're doing a huge school, that's completely different, and you're not going to necessarily be connected with all of them. But I think recognition is good. You do want to be careful of saying the dollar amount. You also do not want to go to any, I don't care if it's Habitat for Humanity or any of the other charities, don't go blast their pages. That's really important, just being respectful for, we don't want to go out and be the Scentsy consultant that's going and saying this all over the place. There was one other thing I was going to tell you and I lost my train of thought.
I know the feeling.
It's late. I think the thing is that a lot of people get scared, they get overwhelmed, and they get into the planning of all of it. And I think the best thing to do is just jump in and do it. And we figure it out as we go, because you're not alone in this. We're all there to support each other. We have a community to help each other. And so when a question arises, it helps. I will say that, I know what I was going to tell you. it is important to have a fundraising goal. You need to understand how much that organization wants to raise. And even better is to tell the participants where the money is going. We are raising money for this animal shelter, and it is going to go to buy new cages or this or that or whatever. Irie, did you want to say something? You're not muted.
Am I good? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. No, I think that was good. Sherry had said that she had to go, so I was just telling her thank you for coming. So I think we're kind of done for tonight. It's a little bit shorter of a meeting tonight, which is probably good. We should probably start trying to wing our meetings down a little bit so they don't run so long. But I really enjoyed this meeting, and I think that, and I hope that since this is recorded, that people will go back and actually watch it and get some really good advice and feedback from the training call. So I hope that it eases some minds about how to get it done and where to look for them. That way they can go forth and donate.
I agree. Now, let me just tell you guys, if you're watching the playback, I stopped the recording. We do not have the video on the recording because we're going to share that separate. It just I think it'll make it easier for everyone to watch the video on their own and then watch this. So if you as the leader sharing it, or if you're going back and watching it, we're going to share the video, and then this part of the phone call, we'll share that. And then I will post what I'm going to share to the rest of my team as well, because I've got lots of fundraising information that I'm going to share to the team. So before we run, Blanca, do you have any questions? I'm going to unmute you. Anything?
No, I do have a fundraiser that I am going to be doing. Yes, I'm going to be doing it for my niece's choir club at her high school. She's a senior this year, so I'm going to be meeting with them. We're going to set up a time for me to go meet with them, so I'm excited.
I'm very excited for you. Let's get offline and talk when you're ready to set everything up so you feel prepared. I think everybody gets nervous when they walk into these kind of things. And so if we can sit down and just have a conversation so you've got what you need.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to stop the recording.